where we get e-commerce experts in the e-commerce industry and we talk about the latest insights, strategies, and best practices for e-commerce marketplaces. I'm your host, Victor Dwyer, and today we have the guest, Stephen Pope, founder of My Amazon Guy. I love Stephen. He is awesome. Stephen is a best-selling author, e-commerce expert, and renowned for his YouTube videos on Amazon solutions. His agency manages 300 plus brands while also owning additional ventures. Before we dive into the cutting edge proven SEO strategies, Stephen, please give us a little intro about yourself and what you're currently working on.
Well, Victor, it's great to be called a giant on your podcast. So thanks for having me on. What I'm working on is almost always entirely either people or systems, constantly hiring. So if somebody's watching this, they want to get their start on Amazon, we are hiring over at myamazonguy.com/jobs. We have brand manager jobs, account director, specialists, you name it, anywhere in between. And system building, man, it's like a never ending thing. Like you double a company every year and you just have to rebuild one org, one department at a time. It's always about the system building. So I'm excited to be on, talk about SEO.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. And starting out, I really want to start with, do you think that SEO strategies that are working right now on Amazon will still be applicable in 1 to 2 years now, especially with ChatGPT and all these other, really revolving strategies? What are your opinions on that?
So ChatGPT is not going to replace anybody's jobs. What it's going to do is it's going to empower somebody who's going to replace your job, right? So the guy that's using it's going to replace somebody else, not the bot itself going to replace jobs. So when it comes to listing building, and we're seeing a lot of tools like incorporate, listing optimization. The challenge is that you're always going to need a pilot, just like PPC softwares. They're great at lowering ACoS, but they kind of stink in some senses on growing sales without spending an exorbitant amount of experimentation money, like creating 1,000 campaigns with one keyword each kind of thing. So piloting and strategy always going to be a topic. I have a long track record of helping organizations build out SEO growth and traffic, both on Amazon as well as web. Probably one of the biggest projects I ever did was for a company called AppMix, where we increased the website visitors by 10 million visitors, not visits, but visitors. And if anybody wants to challenge that number, you can pull up any SEO tool, just type in apmex.com. You can guess my hire date before I started My Amazon Guy. And the reason I bring that example up isn't to showboat, to say, hey, I know what I'm talking about. It's actually to show that, even though I had results at that org, I would go into the boardroom and I'd say, hey, we should do this next. And people would stone cold look me in the face and say, I don't think that's going to work. And I'm like, what the frick? I just did 10 million unique visitors coming to the site. How do you not believe what I'm saying? And that's really the dichotomy of SEO conversations at most organizations today. There's just a lot of back and forth about what works and what doesn't. And so to cut through that, I've come up with some techniques and some suggestions that anybody listening and watching this can test themselves in about 5 minutes. And within a couple of days, be able to have data to go back to their org and prove what works. As one example to that, A+ content indexes. Some people still don't believe this. Here is how you can prove it. Put Spanish text behind one photo's alt text in enhanced brand content, and I guarantee you that at least one Spanish keyword will index in under 48 hours. And so it's things like that scientific method where people can replicate it will have a big impact. One of the opening questions you asked me, Victor, was hey, is SEO going to exist in 1 or 2 years from now? And right now, today, I have 4 SEO phases, and we can go into them if you're interested.
Yeah, let's do it.
But basically, I guarantee you SEO will exist 1 and 2 years from now, and the chatbot is just going to make it easier to do some of the techniques we'll talk about today. In other words, it's going to help you scale.
Yeah.
So kind of an overview in 30 seconds, SEO phases that I always like to preach. SEO phase 0 is your research. Phase 1 is your indexing. Phase 2 is about incremental indexing. Phase 3 is about strike zone keywords, going from rank 20 through 50 to rank 1 through 20. And finally, the 4th phase is about incremental gains on market share. And we use the search query performance report. You also may have heard me, anybody who's followed me before may have also heard me call it the ICAP marketing funnel, where we talk about impressions, clicks, add to carts, and purchases. So that's kind of like a quick overview of some of the things we can talk about. I always love doing live demos, looking at things from scratch and telling you exactly what I would do on a listing. So Victor, if you want to pick out a random product today.
Let's do a massage gun. I'm feeling kind of massagey, I need a massage gun right now. So let's do a massage gun today.
All right. So I've got my screen up. I'm going to type in massage gun. And just for the viewers, Victor and I did not talk about this in advance. advance. And the reason I showcase that is because I love the live demo. It's a lot more fun. The live AMA, ask me anything, live and go. So with this particular category, when we look at this, the first thing that we got to notice is how competitive it is, right? So you have guys with basically the same product. All of them look the same. And as far as I can tell, that's 3 different brands right there. And brand 4, brand 5. So it looks like to me 5 brands all basically doing the same thing. And as you scroll down, more of the same. What this tells me is this category is completely commoditized. And if you were trying to enter into this market right now, you would find it extraordinarily difficult. For those that currently sell a massage gun and want to know like how I would go to the next level, also your gains will take significantly more effort to pull off. All right, so Victor, I want you to pick a random product. Tell me where to stop, like a magician would ask to stop a card. All right, and which one do you want me to look at?
That blue one's really weird. I don't know why anyone would buy that blue one in the middle, but yeah, that one. Yeah.
All right, let's go check this one out. All right, so on here, the first thing we're going to look at is image. Then we're going to look at title, bullets, and then we're going to start scrolling down the page to look at some of the stuff down here. Okay. The reason why we always start with the main image when it comes to SEO is because it has the fastest impact. A lot of literature and videos and content you'll see out there, they talk a lot about the content and they skip over the main image. And I'm here to tell you that the main image is the most important SEO factor in 2023 right now. Basically, I look at it this way: CTR, click-through rate, or choose the right if you live in Utah, is a way to get eyeballs to the listing. So if we go back and we look at this page, to get us to click onto the listing, you looked at the blue, and we're really kind of zoning into that as something interesting. And the other listings had not put in kind of that main image touch where they see the product in action. That one kind of does right there. Kind of looks kind of like, Dragon Ball Z, like Super Saiyan shot going on right there. But by and large, most did not. And so the fact that Victor zoned in on the blue one proves the concept I'm about to teach, which is that to get them to the listing is the most important thing you do in e-commerce. This is going to help you both on PPC and SEO. It is both a traffic and a conversion conversation, but it is like a 7-to-3 traffic ratio to conversion elements. So it is way easier to triple your traffic than it is to triple your conversion rate, which is why it's a traffic generation technique. The main image needs to do a couple of things. Number one, it needs to show what the product is and somebody can understand it in less than 3 seconds. This product image comes up a little bit short because it doesn't show the full product. It's not 100% clear this is a massage gun. When you compare it against where you can see the full shot, we still picked it though because of kind of the choice of the action on the blue, right? So like they want us on that. What this image could do to level up further is to simply have the phrase massage gun on the main image. This is going to sound super basic and rudimentary, and people are like, why would I need to do that? Well, it's because the consumer reads the text without reading the text. And if you think about it, the title is for is for robots. The bullets is for robots, but the image is for humans. And the human element, the eye, connects with this in like 100-to-1 speed before they start even reading. And so any of the speed reading texts or any of the training you could receive online about how to read faster will teach you, don't actually read the words, read the letters very quickly or read the context very quickly. So if you were in a grocery aisle, you're not going to read all the packaging. You're going to zone in. Hey, I'm looking for apples. You look for the shape. You go to the apples. So same concept here. So nobody cares about brand unless you do care about brand, and then you're in a luxury brand at that point. But for the most part, brand doesn't matter. So I'm going to go show you guys how a before and after could look like. So I have some examples at myamazonguy.com/hack, and I'm going to zoom in on this image right here. So on the left is the original, on the right is the new. And Victor, if you were shopping for a journal and you saw the product on the left, why would you buy this product? First thing that comes to mind.
I would probably buy it because I want to be a happier person and I think a journal would be cool. So I'd be like, okay, let me click on this. It's bright yellow and it attracts my eye. There. Let me buy it.
Yellow. So pretty much everybody I ever talked to always says I would buy it because it's yellow. Now, same question on the right. Why would you buy this product?
I like the cards, and like I can see what's like inside of the book now. I kind of like the characters, and so I kind of like the opening aspect where I can see what's inside.
So in the bottom right of this image, you can see the characters inside. So the first image doesn't tell you anything. It just basically, it could be white pages inside for the consumer, all they know, right? Before they even get to the listing, they're going to make assumptions about the product.
Yeah.
What else do you notice about the second image?
That it has the age to 6 to 12 button.
So now we're telling the demographic, this is for your 6-year-old kid right there on the image. This first product, this could be for an adult. Nobody would know better. And what's the last thing you notice?
You basically took the front text where it says like the happy me where you can barely read it, and you just said kids like continuation journal, like right in big letters.
So when I'm looking at the search results, would we know this is a massage gun if we were not searching for a massage gun? And I think
Probably
that
not.
some consumers would not know that. If you've looked at massage guns before, you probably might, but if you hadn't, you might not. And so to help with that, the way that I would solve this main image is basically add onto the image the packaging with gigantic lettering, massage gun. And when you go look at the search query performance report on a listing, and you can only do this in Seller Central, but when you look at it and you're trying to figure out what keywords you could put on your own main image, it tells you what keywords would work for this. And if you select ones that you have a high conversion but low click-through rate on, currently the C in the ICAP, impressions, clicks, added carts, purchases, if your click ratio is lower than your purchase ratio, that's a pretty major indication you need to improve the main image to get them there to begin with. Now, why would I spend so much time talking about CTR? Why would I say this is the most important SEO element? It's because that buyer intent to click on the listing will actually index and rank your product faster than any other method today in 2023. And so when you look at this chart on the mid right here, we'll kind of zoom in on Black Widow here. So the CTR market share percentage, if it's lower than the impression percentage, this means the image does not interest consumers to click, hurting traffic. And so what could happen is you might get an hourglass like Black Widow right here. And that hourglass is bad. It's an opportunity though, but it's not a good thing. And so the fix is zone in right there at the click-through rate, that C in the ICAP, and you want to focus here. If you spent 10 hours trying to fix your main image, that is 10 hours of SEO work. It's not 10 hours of conversion work. It's 10 hours of SEO work. Now, what happened when I made this image improvement on this particular product? This was one of my friend's products. I did it for him for free, just so I could talk about some of the results. Just want you to guess, Victor, how much of a difference do you think it made on CTR? We changed nothing else in the listing, no price updates, no title updates. What do you think happened?
I think you increased it, let's say 30%.
30%? Great.
Yeah.
Great guess. We improved it by 3x.
Wow.
3x. And that is to showcase. And by the way, we also ran a PickFu test. And it was chosen 96-4.
Wow. I have not seen a PickFu test like that before.
So the other thing that you didn't point out about this particular image is the aspect ratios and the resolution. It's subtle, but it's also present. So we also took more space of the main image. We blew it up, and 2000 by 2000 pixel versus 600 by 600. Very, very difficult to see that on the fly like we're doing here. But when you combine all that together, that improved the CTR by 3x. Would you like to guess how much the sales went up?
I'm going to guess also 3x is my
Correct.
guess.
3x. No further updates to the listing. All we did was increase the CTR by 3x, and the sales went up 3x. And what's really cool about this, if you look at the before and after indexing, also 3x. And so the indexing, the number of keywords it showed up for, also tripled. I've run this play many, many times. We've replicated the results. We have additional examples we could go in and showcase. But this is the most important thing that you can work on for SEO today. And most people, when they start thinking about SEO, they're like, oh, I got to stuff keywords in. I got to do things. And quite frankly, I actually kind of did say stuff a keyword in. Put one single keyword in the main image. Whatever the most important keyword you're working on right now, put it into the main image. And I'll show some examples of what that could look like. So with the Happy Journal, that was a good example. So this would be a good example. Here's another one and a third one. So I'm going to show you 3 examples from these are my own listings. So on this one is a mom box. We just put the phrase mom box on it. We're going into Mother's Day, and we wanted people to know, hey, this is for mom. And by doing this, we drastically increase interest for people who are searching for a Mother's Day gift. Another example, Forever Rose. We just photoshopped the phrase Forever Rose right on the box. Why would we do this? Because that was the most important keyword for the listing. And when somebody looks at this, they read Forever Rose without reading Forever Rose. They intuitively understand, if I buy this product, this is going to last a while. And then here's another one, Sage Smudge Kit. So we put it straight onto the packaging just so people understood, hey, this is a kit, it's sage, and it's a smudge kit. And by doing this, all of those keywords saw improvements, all of those keywords have higher CTR, and it helps the consumer to focus in. And notice how gigantic the phrasing is.
Yeah. And
Very,
do you have any data supporting that putting your top search term, your top like converting search term, like you might be like organically ranked 10 there, but putting that number one search term there and then like seeing the rank increases by chance, like, or the increase in sales, like on that particular keyword?
Yes. So I'll show you the example we did with one of my Sage Stick products. So I'm going to hop over to my Amazon guy /ICAP. And here's the use case for Sage Candles for Cleansing House. And we tripled the impression, share, clicks, add to carts, and purchases pretty much all the way down. This particular use case, I used the Search Query Performance Report to even identify the keyword Sage Candles for Cleansing House. And I'm gonna demo me searching this product because it's such an important one. So Sage Candles for Cleansing House. When we look at the search result, what do you see?
I see a lot of like just candle pictures. Like
candles.
Yeah, just like single candle pictures.
Exactly. Yeah. Now here is my product. It showed up once right here. This is one of mine, first PPC. There's another one for PPC. What do you notice the difference between my product and everybody else's?
Yours is like a I don't even know what to call it, like a leaf, like a thing. Like it's not a candle.
Yeah. It's not a candle. Well, here's the thing. When I was looking at the data, this keyword was in slot number 1 of my Search Query Performance Report. And I was like, what the heck? This isn't even a candle. Why is this showing up here? Well, when I looked at the data and I was seeing that I had a 7%, I had basically a 3% impression share currently and 7% of the clicks, I was like, that's peculiar. That's really weird. Why would that be the case? Well, it turns out that when somebody is searching for Sage Candles for Cleansing House, they're not actually looking for a candle. They're looking for the cleansing house. Well, when I put the keyword into the listing, I put it not only into the image, I also put it in the title. I also put it in the bullets and the A+ content and everywhere I could stuff that sucker. I ended up tripling my market share. And now today, basically 1 out of 5 people who search that term buys my product. Wow. And I'm not even selling a candle. And it's super weird. And so like this is how you can use data to make scientific decisions to increase sales. And it sometimes is peculiar like this, where it's not broken, it's a feature, right? Like the fact that I'm not a candle is actually helping me because when somebody is searching all these other products, I stand out because almost every other product you see here is a candle. So you can use data like that. The ICAP method, the ICAP funnel, we use this in SEO phase 4 to basically choose which keywords to focus on. It has a huge integration with the main image concept that we started on. So lots of cool stuff with that. All right, so we're going to go back to our original massage gun product. So I got to go back to search here. I think I lost it. Oh, there it is. I see it in the keep shopping for button. And now we're going to look at what else we could do on this listing. So we focused 20 minutes straight on the main image. That's how important it is. That's the only thing you do. You're making a big difference today. Next thing, title. You have 200 characters. In some categories, you have 200 bytes. What's the difference between a byte or a character? Well, the byte doesn't count spaces. And so if you look in the back end of your search terms in most categories, including most of home categories, they're actually counting bytes, not characters. Now, for those that program out there, I understand a byte counts a character outside of the Amazon ecosystem, but inside of the Amazon ecosystem, they don't. And so what this means is if you only had put 250 characters inside of your search term field, you still have 20% of the space to fill out to get the full 250 bytes. So I know I said I was going to start on title, and I started talking about the search term field, but basically whatever you can't fit in your title is going to go into your search term field. And there's such an opportunity there. So things that you would put into the back end of a search term field would include misspellings, Spanish, things that you can't put on the front end. So I'm going to pull up on screen here what a back end would look like. We're going to click on the keywords tab here, and you can see right here, this is the search term field. Now, I'm going to prove to you that it sometimes will error out and show you the limitation. And right there, it says, please reduce your generic keyword length to less than 250 bytes. And so when you look at what the definition of a byte is, that means you got 20% more because it doesn't count these nice little spaces. So the space between Sage and Smudge Kits, that doesn't count against me. That space right there between Smudge Sticks doesn't count against me. And so you got to take advantage of that full field. So if you're looking for your 5-minute hack today, verify you've got the full 250 bytes filled out on the search term field.
That's great.
Don't put commas, no syntax required, straight up, just fill it out.
Quick question on the back-end search terms. Yep. I've had a lot of people argue about phrase match and putting in like either the same keyword in twice for phrase matching, or just putting like all unique keywords in there when it comes to SEO. What's your opinion on that?
Don't repeat the word anywhere in the search term field. It is permutating, which is a fancy word for saying this word right there combines with every word that follows it. So if you, let's say you have, I don't know, 40 words in the search term field. Word 1 combines with word 2, word 1 combines with word 3, and so forth. So you don't need the exact match or the exact phrase specifically in the search term field. Having said that, most of the front-facing attributes, I would recommend it big time, especially title. And the reason for that is because in the title, it does not permutate. It does not combine word 1 with word 7 or word 2 with word 5. And so having the exact match can be a very, very big and important thing. What we did see, so I'm going to go, let's go open up another search here. I'm going to type in massage gun again. In some searches, we're seeing them bold the keyword you search for. And so we see massage gun right there. We didn't trigger it today, but for a lot of you, you might start seeing the phrase that you search bold in the titles. And having the exact match massage gun is obviously a no-brainer. We see it 111 times on that search query. Now, if we were to take a more interesting longer tail phrase like full metal travel massage gun, we probably are not going to see more than 1 or 2 have an exact match on this. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, that's the same product basically. And if we search all these out, we're probably going to see they're the only one. So basically 3 ads for them showing there. So 3 products, all the same product basically from the one brand. So that particular phrase, they're the only ones chasing an exact match on it. So it makes sense that they're showing up higher in the search results, especially when it comes to PPC. Ironically, they don't actually organically index on page 1 for this term, which kind of proves against what I'm saying. But in general, if you have an exact match, you have a higher propensity to show up.
I think it's actually rank 1, actually.
Oh, did I overlook it?
Yeah,
oh, yeah, you're right, actually.
Yeah.
It was on the row of PPC. So it actually does prove what I'm saying. Thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate the assist there. So it can be very important, especially if it's a longer tail or a niche keyword, be very valuable for you. All right. So title, some of the things you can do in title, I like to focus on the 3 most important keywords for the listing. Obviously, massage gun, maybe a long tail keyword like full metal travel gun, which nobody searches for, and it's probably not a good choice. But at the same time, full metal might be a conversion keyword you want to put in there. So it may not help you with SEO, but it might help you with conversion, which also helps you with SEO because SEO does include those factors. Here is my SEO factors. By the way, there's no such thing as the A10 algorithm, but I call it the A10 because it might as well be. They've updated A9 so much. And in here, we see my patch notes. All the data you see on screen completely made up. It is not database, but it's what I'm seeing. I have access to over 1,000 Amazon seller accounts. This is what I'm seeing. And if you look at like old SEO factors, I'm going to also pull up the 2021 version I made. And here is what it used to be, right? So if you look where CTR was on this list, it's right around 7%. And then if you look at where I have it today, I have it at 17% as the second most important SEO factor. That is how firmly I believe it's more important today than it's ever been. And other things have been nerfed over time, like review counts. I'm pulling that one way down. I'm going to be in the minority on this. Most people think review counts are still extremely important, or the number of reviews. I think Amazon nerfed it. That's my personal take. I focus on CTR. I no longer focus on review gen. That surprises people usually. But this is what I'm seeing. I think PPC sales has been nerfed and then rebuffed, and it's more important now than it was last year because they are taking away some of the organic listings and they're making room for more PPC listings in the search results, which is another story in itself. Man, there's too many damn ads, right?
And what I would add on to this is like for offsite sales, Google like specifically still has that like a lot of that ranking juice in there. So like I would argue that offsite sales is actually buffed for Google at least on that side, yeah, right there, just because like if you get like one sale, it usually accounts for like 4 or 5 PPC sales when it comes from Google specifically. I don't know why Google, but for some reason they really love Google traffic in there specifically, and I don't know why.
I think they're trying to take down Google personally. They're their number one threat, right? Like Google was the number one search engine, number one place people started when they were searching for products in the United States 5 years ago, and Amazon overtook them, and now they're crushing them. And so they don't want Google to come back. They want people going back to Amazon. So even if you start on Google, you still end up on Amazon, and give them the giant middle fingers. So I think Amazon sees Google as a threat personally.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I see some of the factors, which is why I focus on the main image so much for CTR. Things you want to put in the title: exact match, phrase match, wherever possible. Yes, it is okay to be repetitive in the title, in my opinion. So having the word massage multiple times, I'm good with that. So if we control F, and you look at how many times they have the word massage here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and another 4 times in the bullets, basically every bullet point. And then on the listing, 172 times. That's also going to pick up some ads and whatnot, but you get the idea. It's super important, and it's okay to have exact match. Bullet points, less important than they used to be, but still important, in my opinion, to get some of those exact match phrases in there. This is going to help you for indexing. And when you're working through like SEO phase 3, when you're trying to rank something up from position 20 through 50, having it in the bullets, it's going to help you move up a couple of position points. It's going to be very helpful. Not even remotely close to the impact of updating your main image and adding the keyword, but still supplemental and easy to do. Brand story, most important update to enhance brand content in the last year. Such an opportunity to get crawlable text. What is crawlable text? That means I can literally crawl it like this and read it. That means if I can do this, so can the bot. The SEO bots do not currently allow photo tracking. So if you have text inside of the photo, it does not help you. So in here, they're doing a really good job showing lifestyle and showing the product in use. They're also filling out lots of modules. They sell cursory products. They're linking to them. Really good job done here. This is one of the better brand stories that I've seen. Probably the only thing I would do differently is probably have somebody getting a massage straight in the main brand image there. But overall, really well done. One cool thing to point out, you can inspect each of these photos, see if the alt text is set. And in here, the image alt text is set really well. They've got food scale, rechargeable, food scales, digital weight, grams, etc. They filled out the full 100 characters.
Are you an online seller struggling to navigate the complexities of marketplace management? Let Bellavix help. Our dedicated team of professionals are passionate, innovative, and committed to excellence to growing your brand on marketplaces. With Bellavix, you can trust your brand will receive personalized support and expertise that will help you stand out from the competition. We understand that every brand is unique, which is why we tailor our approach to fit your specific needs. So if you're ready to take the brand to the next level on marketplaces, contact Bellavix today. Let us help you achieve achieve your goals to grow your brand.
So brand story, enhanced brand content, they're very similar in focus. The nice thing about the brand story is that you get the horizontal space, right? And you want people to do that because if they don't do it on your brand story, they're going to do it on the ads right above it. With enhanced brand content, you want to take as much vertical space as possible because you don't want them clicking the ads that come below it. It's the opposite of an e-com methodology because on a website, you just want that clean cut, go right to the add to cart. But on Amazon, the opposite is true. And you want to be able to take them as much space as possible. And it's very important that you have like 500 words of crawlable text inside of enhanced brand content. We find that that's the fastest way to index products. It also helps with the ranking and the maturity of their positioning at a later point. So alt text, crawlable text, don't just have giant photos, have those, but also have supplemental descriptors that are next to them. Those are all of the great SEO elements that you can use within the Amazon ecosystem. There's a couple other bonus things we could talk about, like the Q&A section, social posts, and external factors. But by and large, if you focus on what we've already covered, you're going to be in pretty great shape, probably beat 90% of the competition with that stuff.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I wanted to get your thoughts. As Amazon becomes more pay to play, like we know that over time, like 60 or 70% used to be organic on Amazon, which SEO was super, super important. Now that it's kind of flipped where 60 or 70% is now sponsored, how does SEO play into all that? And does that make it less important? Does that make it more important with this whole like pay to organic shift?
The first 20 minutes that we spent focusing on the main image is going to help you with both PPC and SEO. CTR. So instead of just focusing on keyword stuffing, if people focus on CTR, that will transcend any of the evolutions that we see because you need to be findable. You need the impressions. You need to be clickable. And then once you get them to the page, it's all conversion from there. Add to cart and purchase, ICAP. And so I think that SEO is going to evolve. It always will. We'll probably add a fifth phase next year and focus on whatever cool new tool we get. But at the end of the day, it will always be important. It's a sunk cost methodology, which means any money you put into SEO today will produce for months, if not years to come. Mm-hmm. If you turn PPC off at the extreme end, your SEO will also suffer though. I have a wine glass. I sell kind of funny saying beer glasses like this one here. This is the way, love the Mandalorian. And one of my wine glasses got banned from ads and it went from position rank number 1 for the term wine glass down to position 44 within 2 weeks. Wow. And so don't cut the ads off if you're organically ranked high. They supplement each other. Showing up multiple times is a good thing. So no, I don't think SEO is going to get less important. Yes, it is going to get harder, but focus on CTR, you'll be happy.
And what is your thought with China really upgrading their like copywriting game? Like when it comes to SEO, because before China, like you can really tell like a non-English speaker made the SEO or all the product pages. Now, like China's really stepping up their game when it comes to ChatGPT when creating these product pages. What is your plan to kind of counter that?
So American products consumers prefer, but most American products are made in China anyway. And so if the Chinese can cut out the middleman, a la you, the retailer, they're going to cheat. They're going to use bribery. They're going to do whatever they can to put food on the table because that is the Chinese culture. I'm leaving no punches here. That's just a true freaking statement. Anybody who's done sourcing understands what I'm talking about, whether it's bribery with inspections or the corners they cut. So you as the seller or brand owner have to do these things or you will get beat by some of the Chinese. And if they can't beat you fairly, they will beat you unfairly with other non-SEO friendly tactics. But at the end of the day, yes, there are threats. So you got on the left, you got the Chinese hitting you and giving you price pressure. On the right, you've got Amazon aggregators coming in and injecting money and jacking up the PPC prices. Above you, you've got Amazon crushing you and your margins and making it harder to even show up and re-verifying your account and randomly taking listings down. As a seller, it's claustrophobic right now. No question about it. It's not passive income when you're a seller on Amazon. Having said that, the things that we talked about on this call are scalable, they are replicatable, and you're going to be able to compete and put up a few punches, racquetball Balboa style, and you will be able to weave and dive a little bit better. You do have to change your methodologies. You can't just simply focus on your product. You're going to have some sophisticated marketers on staff or outsource them, a la. But right? But like you have to have a game plan, or they will beat you.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I wanted to touch on this. How can social media platforms be leveraged to drive traffic to sales to Amazon listings these days?
So I think social posts within Amazon should be focused on more than, say, like a Facebook or an Instagram. Having said that, if you don't have a TikTok strategy in place right now, you need one. Video is increasingly more important. They're showing video ads on listings. They're showing video ads on the freaking search results in 2 locations now. Display ads are now showing videos. So you need to focus on video one way or another, whether it's for your ads or your social game. You're gonna need it, and that's a tough bill for a lot of Amazon sellers to accept right now. But it's just inevitable. So those are the hard things to do. Focus on your main image first because it's freaking easy, and then focus on video when you knock out all the easy stuff.
And guys, it's 2023. If you do not have a video in 2023, that is like bad. Like you can just use some images, put some motion graphics to make it a video, and then voila, you have a video. It's not this crazy like thing. Like you gotta have a video. It's 2023. You gotta explain what your product does.
There's an example. Still images. Yep. We got a video on base. So
yes.
It's doable. It's better than nothing. So
and how much did that cost? How much does a video like this cost? Oh, there's a model in it. Oh, yeah, there's a model in it. So that's probably a little bit more expensive.
We use B-roll. I mean, you can get. I mean, like we have like an iStock account, Imager account, whatever, and we grab some video. This is an unboxing video separate that we also obtained. People want to know the banana for scale. They want to see the context of the product. So even if you just do an unboxing like this, heck, that's good enough in my book. People like the realism.
Yeah, 100%. UGC works really, really well. And then I did want to talk about how can email marketing be an effective target and engage customers in an Amazon setting?
So there is this new thing where you can market the people that follow your store. So if you edit your brand story, like, hey, go push that button, or if you put product inserts, follow us for coupons, or if you tell them, the consumer, about it. It's hard to collect email lists these days, but if you work within the Amazon ecosystem, you can email them directly. A lot of people don't know about that. Is it effective? Not really, to be truthful, but it's better than nothing. So offsite email marketing, if you can do list building, that's a great opportunity to push them in, especially with product launches. I think that's probably the most important thing with emails, is to do some product launch stuff, because then you can program the keyword, you can program to go straight to the add to cart button, add the discount code in there. And in very hyper competitive niches like supplements, everybody does this.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. And how can Amazon businesses use paid advertising to drive their conversions and maximize their ROI?
So you're talking within Amazon, outside of Amazon?
Let's say inside Amazon.
So I as an agency at My Amazon Guy, we focus on 4 blocks: PPC and SEO, which are your traffic generation strategies. We also focus on design and catalog management, which is inclusive of merchandising and troubleshooting. So these are the 4 boats. All ships rise together. So it's not just about focusing on one. You need to do all of them together in conjunction. And these are the basics. Like, I guarantee you 5 years from now, next time I'm on your podcast, we'll still be able to talk about those 4 basic things: SEO, PPC, design, catalog. They're never going to go away. Now, the external traffic play or whatever hack, the super URLs, or the giveaway rebates, all of that stuff eventually got banned. And whatever people talk about in the future will also get banned, but those 4 basics will always exist. And that's why I built my entire company focused on those 4 things.
Yeah. And what would you say is the best SEO tip that you have to prepare for Q4? Because we know the PPCs are going to rise like crazy. We know it's going to get more expensive. What is your number 1 tip that people should be doing today to prepare for Q4?
Don't go out of stock is got to be the number 1 Bible rule. There's no question. The second rule is very much like the first, and it's seriously, don't go out of stock. And so you really got to focus on logistics. You need to duplicate your SKUs. You need to have FBA and FBM. Stocking is the most important Q4 topic. There is never anything that is more important than being in stock for the holidays.
And how do you prepare for that? So let's say if you do an SEO tip that we're talking about and you triple your click-through rate and you triple your sales, obviously you did not forecast those type of things. And then now that like China is constantly getting shut down, there's like long lead times. What's the best way to plan for these things?
Do your optimization today so that you can see what's coming. And then by the time Q4 goes around, you've got a year supply of stock. So your SEO tip on this one is buy a year supply of stock so that when your SEO plan works, it will keep working. Because if you go out of stock, you're going to lose massive momentum.
Yeah. And I wanted to ask you, like we touched on a little bit of image optimizations. Are there any other image optimizations you would say to people that a lot of people don't know they need image optimizations? Like, what would you say for someone that, like, if you say, oh, that person definitely needs an image optimization for their main image, like, what are some like 3 steps or 3 things you look for that you say like, oh, this person needs an optimized image? Like, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
All right, I'm going to put a product on the screen, and I want you to tell me what it is as quickly as possible.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, it's a Bud Light cup, like basically a drinking cup.
Okay, so if you can't answer that question in 5 seconds with whatever product you have in your main image, you need to optimize it further. Adding the keyword is the fastest way to solve that problem. Showing the packaging, showing the product in use. If it's a baby good product, try and work a baby in there if you can. Gets a little gray. If you can show it on a model, if it has an accessory, if you can show the size of the pill, if it's a supplement, you need to show as much context as possible to help the consumer to understand it. And you have less than probably 3 seconds to do that in a search page result. So focus on CTR at all costs. Nothing is more important than CTR in 2023 when it comes to generating traffic.
That is amazing. And I think we'll close it out with that. I think that's a good mic drop to close it out there. Steven, please tell them how to find you, how to find your business, and how to find more SEO tips.
So you can go to myamazonguy.com/SEO. You can watch our video content of all of the SEO phases and much more. Fill out a contact form there, and you can talk to us if you're interested in some of our services. If you like today's podcast, slam that like for Victor. This guy, he has so much value to the ecosystem. What an awesome dude. Freaking love Victor. Big fan of the show, longtime listener, longtime guest, and help him out as well. Buy his burritos, click his affiliate links, whatever you guys can do.
Thank you so much, Steven. That's very kind. Thank you everyone for listening. Steven, thank you much for joining, and we will catch you guys next time.